Hey Lucas, how are you doing? Thanks for connecting. Are we ready? Hey Pooch, how are you doing? It's okay. Well, then let's get started, Lucas. Where are you actually based? Are you in Germany? Are you in Spain? Where are you actually, Lucas? Ah, Servus Lukas. Ich bin ja eigentlich aus Wien und ja, lebe jetzt in Barcelona und kenne natürlich Thalia in der Marilferstraße. So, thanks for connecting. I'm looking forward to have a great webinar with you and the other guys. Let's do it in English because many people also connected from abroad. Nice. I actually bought like 3 or 4 times in Thalia. So my favorite one is in Marilferstraße. So I think we're good to getting started. Let's jump right into my slide deck that I've prepared for today. So you hear me well, right? So Lucas, can you just give me the number 2 on your keyboard if you hear me well, and all the others if you hear me well, just give me a number 2, please. Nice, perfect, nice. So let's get started. So once again, welcome to our webinar about Facebook ads, how you can really get the best and double your sales, especially when you're selling books in the DACH region. So this is about how you're getting the most out of your Facebook ads. It's not just about organic, so it's really about paid ads. My name is Patrick Wind. I'm the managing director from adsaccelerator.com. I teach social paid media at VU Vienna, but also at ESADE Barcelona and at 2 other business schools here in Spain. I worked over 6 years with the algorithm of Facebook. Invested over 3 million euros in their ads since 2012 and generated over 10.4 million euros in online sales. So I really hope that you're going to learn from my experience, and I'm very much looking forward to sharing all the information with you today in this webinar. As I said, I'm the founder of the Ads Accelerator program. What we do is we accelerate e-commerce profits. So we first lower the cost per website purchase of the companies that we work with, and then we increase their sales. So that's basically what we do. And we did this with several companies already. I'm looking forward to also include Thalia here in this list at one point of time. And so far, we're working mainly with international companies born in Spain. Here are some testimonials that already worked with us, and they were pretty happy. So that was basically my little introduction about myself. Now let's jump into the more important part, which is the Facebook ads full funnel strategy. Then I've also prepared 15 quick tips for you, how you can really get the most out of your ads. These are very practical and easy to apply tips and tricks that will improve your performance already after this webinar. And then at the end, I also prepared a top Facebook ad scaling strategy, and we're going to finish this webinar with a Q&A session. So let's get started, guys. The full funnel strategy. First, I'm going to present to you what it is and how you can apply it to your own campaigns. Then why you should use emotional branding ads, how you can focus on how you should focus on the products in your prospecting ads, and how to create scarcity in retargeting. And then I'm going to finish it off with 15 Ads Accelerator quick tips. So what is the full funnel strategy? The full funnel strategy basically means that you communicate a different message to different customers according to the current level in the customer journey. So this sounds pretty straightforward and not that difficult to communicate a different message to different customers. But the difficult part in here is definitely how you can communicate differently according to the level of the customer journey. So now the question is, what's a customer journey and how you can define and improve that. A customer journey can be defined in a very complicated way. So it's not a super trivial topic. So it can be either seen like this or that, or it can even be displayed in a pretty complex format like this. So you see, it's not that easy to really decide on which part of the customer journey a potential customer is in right now. Therefore, we from the Ads Accelerator team have come up with a much simpler and easier to apply funnel, which looks like this. Okay, so our full funnel is only separating between 3 different elements. So the branding, prospecting, and retargeting. And according to each level of this customer journey, you should communicate a different message. Okay, when you start at the branding level, it's all about the emotion. What you want to do is you really want to be positioned on the right side of the brain, okay, which is here, where you have all the emotional part situated. And once you're positioned properly on the emotional part of the brain, then you want to jump into the prospecting area where you communicate your product on the left side of the brain. Okay, so it's really the trick to communicate to both areas of the brain. On the one hand, you start with the emotional branding ads, working on the emotional part, and then you come into the more rational part of the brain when it comes to prospecting ads. How you do that? Well, you basically show here, for example, a nice branding video, and only to those people who have seen the specific video, then you show them your product ads. And then only to people that have really come to your website and did not purchase, for example, you show them retargeting ads where you create scarcity and urgency. And then in the last part, something that many people do neglect when it comes to e-commerce sales is that you really should also focus on how you can make these people also conduct an upsell. So how you can create loyalty and have people purchase not only once, but twice, 3, or even 4 times. And now we come to the practical parts. What could these emotional branding videos look like? For example, here we see Kate Spade, New York, that have done a very nice branding video. And now I can show you several hundreds of different videos that look very nicely, but I prefer to show you the way how you can find this kind of information on your own. So I would recommend you to go into your business manager account, and then in all tools, plan, you see the audience insights and you see the creative hub. And if you click on the creative hub, it will open up this little section, and here you see hundreds of different best practices on videos, on collection ads, canvas ads, vertical videos, so on and so forth. And this is updated every single day directly from the Facebook headquarters. So I really recommend you to get inspired there in the Creative Hub. And once you have decided on the right video that you want to conduct, or that you have already created, then it comes to choosing the right format. So here are some potential formats for your video. And now the question is, of course, which one should I use? Which is the optimal video format for my ads? Well, there's a pretty nice recommendation also directly from the Facebook headquarters, which is that, of course, it's mobile first. So you should really focus on that it looks perfectly nice on your mobile device, not so much on the desktop. And in this wonderful table here, they show which ad format works nicely on each placement. Okay, so if you have never seen that table, go ahead, take a screenshot from that. It's really recommendable. It really works nicely. And when you have to decide which format choose for each placement. And my recommendation for you guys is if you have only one shot, or if you have only two shots, on which format you want to create, is that I would recommend you to do either the square 1-on-1 or the vertical 4-5. Why? Well, because they work nicely in all the major placements. Okay, so Facebook feeds, Facebook and Instagram stories, and Instagram feeds. So the 1-on-1 and the 4-5, they're my favorite format when it comes to videos. Okay, so take a screenshot from that and point it down that these 1-on-1 and 4-5 videos are the ones that bring the best results right now. So once we have positioned our brand at the emotional part of the brain, so on the right side of the brain, now we want to target these people again, and only to the people who have watched a certain amount of our video, and give them our prospecting ad, so focusing on the product. How are we going to do that? Well, here's a practical step-by-step guide on how you do it. You basically go into your asset library, create an audience, and create a custom audience, and it's an engagement audience. So asset library, audiences, create an audience on engagement, and then it's on video engagement. Okay, so create a list of people who have spent time watching your videos on Facebook or Instagram. And then here you can easily choose people who have watched whatever, 25%, 50%, but I recommend the 75% of your video. Then you choose which kind of video you want to retarget. So for example, let's say we have shown these kind of videos, and we select only the people who have watched at least 75% of the video. Then we're gonna come up with those 4,000 people more or less. Then we say, okay, only the ones in the last 7 days, for example. And then we can start re-impacting those people with our prospecting ads, focusing on the product. For example, with this wonderful carousel, or with a single image or a collection ad, which is what I recommend doing it either with a carousel or a collection ad. And then let's imagine that the person who has seen our emotional branding video, then at least 75%, then we re-impact that person with our prospecting product ad, with a carousel or a collection. Then they come to our website, but then they do not purchase. For example, they just add to the shopping cart. Well, then we want to retarget them with a scarcity ad, for example, this one, where we create urgency. Okay, so it's here, shop our surprise sale early and enjoy up to 75% off. Okay, this creates urgency, scarcity, so people have the feeling that they have to take this opportunity now or never. Okay, so that is one potential approach how you can do your retargeting. For example, with the page view 7 or add to cart last 30 days or view content last 14 days. Just options how you can create your retargeting audience. Another option is that you create a famous shoelace approach. Okay, the shoelace approach, for example, creates behavioral retargeting depending on the days that the people have interacted with your website. For example, this approach treats them differently according to whether they have been on our website yesterday, the day before yesterday, or a couple of days ago. And what they recommend is that on day 1 and day 2, after you have come to your website, you show them a dynamic product ad. So you basically show them exactly the right product that they were looking for, and at the same time, parallel, you also should give them the new arrival ads. So that's what you do on day 1 and day 2. In day 3 and 4, they like to play around with FOMO ads, so fear of missing out, where you show them, for example, a carousel ad telling them that these are the last units that you have available, or that the discount expires in a couple of days. So this is day 1, day 2, the dynamic product ad and new arrival ad. Then they come with the FOMO ad, so last pieces available. And then on day 5 and 6, they work with messenger chat ads. So after you have re-impacted them, after you have impacted them on your website, then you bring them, for example, to your messenger, and after that, it starts a conversation with them in Facebook Messenger. So to sum up, the full funnel strategy basically means that you start with the branding on the emotional level, and after you have impacted them on the emotional level, you want to re-impact them on the left side of the brain in the rational part with a prospecting product ad. After that, when they have come to your website and they have not purchased so far, you retarget them with an ad that creates urgency and scarcity. So that's basically the full funnel strategy. And now the question is, how can we translate that to a practical step-by-step guide? Therefore, I've provided these 15 quick tips for you that you can apply to your ads already from the first moment on. So what are these quick tips? Let's get started. As I said, mobile first. Out of all the Facebook ads revenue in 2018, 79% are going to derive from mobile ads. So that's definitely a no-brainer that you should have them perfectly optimized for mobile. Then, as we have focused already in the emotional part, video first. So 55% of Facebook's total ad revenue in 2018 is going to be derived from videos. Okay, so it's not just focusing anymore on carousels or collections, but it's really important that you have video material. Then, this is something that is very important and many people neglect, is that you should run at least 10 different A/B tests each week. And the order of these A/B tests is that you focus first on the audiences, then on the different creatives, and only then on copies. So if you so far already run A/B tests, but you focus mainly on the different copies, then I would recommend to reorder them differently and rather start with audiences first, then do the creatives, and then the copies. And this is a very practical recommendation that many people do not comply to, but it is very important for the algorithm of Facebook that you have at least 2 and maximum 4 ads in each ad set. And what the Facebook ad quarter recommends here is that you have 1 video ad, 1 collection ad, 1 carousel ad, and 1 single image ad, for example. And what I've seen many times is that the relevance score does not matter. And this is something that is completely not true. The relevance score really matters, and possibilities to really increase that relevance by adapting the creative or copy to the specific audience. And then here I provided 3 different steps and practical recommendations on how you can implement the full funnel strategy on your actual campaigns. So for the branding ads, I said go for the one-on-one of 4 to 5 vertical videos to appeal to the emotional part. And as I said, mobile first. Then in the prospecting ads, try to use some collection ads and also Instagram carousels, Instagram story carousels to show your product. For the ones who do not know what an Instagram carousel is, well, it's basically if you just publish an Instagram story on your private profile, you know that you have that you can publish several of them at the same time, and then it just breaks the timeline down to as many parts as you have. And the same you can do with the Instagram story ads right now. So you can publish several Instagram story ads at the same time. And for retargeting, we strongly recommend to focus on dynamic product ads and, as I said, the carousel ads. How can you create scarcity and urgency in the retargeting ads? Well, you have to play around with the fear of missing out. So this offer is only available for a limited time. And what many people neglect as well is the frequency, and the frequency per week should not be higher than 7, which basically means that you target these people already once per day, and 3 to 5, frequency of 3 to 5 per week is actually the converting area. So please monitor your frequency very carefully and do never pass over the once per day limit, so 7 per week. The last quick tips that we have prepared for you, especially when you're working in the book industry, you could also work with this one. So to show people using your products, especially smiling faces. So one thing is just showing, for example, a book cover, which is okay, but it's gonna work much better in Facebook ads if you show real people using your products, especially smiling faces. convert very nicely and get higher click-through rates. Very important and easy to apply is using a clear and clickable call to action already in your ad copy. So playing around with the AIDA principle. The AIDA principle basically means attention, interest, desire, action. And you want to include a clickable call to action already in your ad copy. So not only in the CTA button below the creative. And very easy to apply is that you can increase the click-through rate of your ads with higher contrast images and videos. So if you're a little bit skilled in Photoshop, and it's really no rocket science, it's just editing the images that you want to use for your ads, increase the contrast by 10%, for example. And this little trick will already help you to get better click-through rates, because it will stick out more of the jungle of the thousands of ads that people see every day. And then the last two quick tips that I've prepared for you are very valuable and very interesting, is that you should use and include the social proof in your ads. For example, if you have testimonials that used your products, if you have PR, so the press talking about it, you should really use that in your ads. And you should also combine all the likes, comments, shares that you already have on one specific ad, for example, and combine it. So working with the ad IDs to not start from scratch with the new ones. So this sounds a little bit cryptic, but it's very important. So for example, if you take a look at my ads, they usually don't start with 0 likes, 0 comments, 0 shares. They always start with a couple of hundred of likes and 100 comments, 100 shares, because I always combine them. First, I nurture them with an engagement campaign or on my organic fans, and then I use the identification number by using this specific ID to really collect and combine this social proof. If you're more interested in that, just shoot me an email later on, and I'm looking forward to explaining it to you in more detail, because it's really an important and interesting topic. And then the last one is that consistency really matters. Have a specific landing page for your Facebook ads, for example. So it cannot be that in your ads you're showing a very neon, a very high contrast creatives, and then on your landing page on your website you're very minimalistic and not doing any colors, for example. So we have already covered the Facebook ads full funnel strategy. I've presented you the 15 quick tips that you can apply to your own ads. And now I would like to show you the top Facebook ad scaling strategy, which is a very interesting one, and which we have already applied to several ad accounts. For example, this one, where we achieved a nice ROAS 5. This one that we then scaled to almost €500,000 in sales. And of course also this one, where we achieved over €840,000 in return. And if that's interesting for you, and give me 5 more minutes, and I'm gonna explain exactly what we did with those companies. The top secret for profitable and scalable Facebook ads. So, a top secret is, of course, that these companies have enrolled in our Ads Accelerator program. And give me 5 minutes to explain you very quickly what this program is about and how it can help you also to scale your sales with a nice ROAS. So our program basically helps you to become a true Facebook ads master, helps you to save a huge amount of time by trusting a proven method. You can save thousands of euros in unprofitable ads and unnecessary A/B tests, helps you to automate your business and generate sales basically while you sleep. And it helps you to scale your sales exponentially and dominate your industry. How do we do that? Well, it helps you to become a true Facebook ads master with our 6 modules, which are more than 20 hours of online classes. You get all my tools and checklists to really apply this know-how to your own campaigns. And you also get 24/7 support within our Facebook and WhatsApp group. The 6 modules that we cover is masterclass formation on the algorithm of Facebook and practical quick wins. Then the full funnel audiences, not only in retargeting, but also in prospecting. Then we're going to show you exactly how to create price-winning Facebook and Instagram ads when it comes to the different ad types, so collection ads, canvas ads, and offer ads, for example. And if you have created all of these three, once we have covered all of these three models, so you really understand how the algorithm works, you've set up a proper retargeting funnel and an A/B testing structure and prospecting. Once we have created all the different ads in Facebook and Instagram, then you, of course, want to optimize it on a daily and weekly basis. So how should you go forward if an ad set brings a negative ROAS? How can we save that? How can we scale an ad set that has already performed nicely? How can we fight creativity fatigue? All of this we're going to cover in the fourth model, so the checklist for optimization. And then we're going one step deeper in the analysis deep dive. Here we're going to cover a lot of Facebook analytics, audience insights, and also the different dashboards. And once we have properly understood how our campaigns really perform, how can we get the best out of them, then we're gonna go into model 6 on automation. So setting automated rules, working with lifetime budgets, and once we have automated everything, we finally are able to scale our business, so adding zeros to the investment by maintaining the same ROAS. And if this is not enough for you, we also included a bonus program, so a practical step-by-step guide on how to set up everything, plus a conversion rate optimization course, because all of the Facebook ads you want, even if you create the best Facebook ads in the world, if you bring them to a website that does not convert, you will not get high ROAS at the end. So really knowing how to optimize your conversion rate on your website is completely important and necessary. So this entire program, which basically communicates my know-how of over 6 years and over 3 million euro of ad spend in a one-on-one consulting environment, I would charge for these over 20 hours of consulting over 4,000 euros. And to make this in a very appealing and interesting program is an online, is our Facebook Ads Accelerator online program. The price is 790 euros. So instead of the 4,000 euros for this know-how that we would charge in the one-on-one consulting, the online program is only 790 euros and gives you a wonderful, practical, and easy to apply handbook on how you can improve your campaign performance. This program is completely perfect for you if you're an e-commerce owner who wants to increase your profits by first lowering the cost of purchase and then scaling your sales, or if you are a Facebook advertiser running conversion, lead generation, or app install ads and want to lower the cost and increase the volume, or also if you're a digital marketer who wants to become a true Facebook ads expert and work as a consultant or agency for clients. This program is not right for you if you run Facebook ads only for branding, so basically burn marketing budget for impressions and reach and do not really focus on what it really brings at the end of the day for you, or you just complain about increasing CPMs without applying new methods to lower your costs and increase your return, or if you simply don't have enough time to get better in Facebook ads or run at least 10 different A/B tests each week. Here are also a couple of our happy testimonials. So if you just go on our website to success stories, you will find all of these people with their nice videos talking about how they have improved their campaigns thanks to our program. And if you're interested in that program as well, here's the link that I will also post in the chat right now, and we can also discuss now in the Q&A session. To register for this program, just go to adsaccelerator.com/p/program, and we're going to open up the registration right now. It's open only for 24 hours because we have seen that people who make the decision fast are always the ones who get better results at the end of the day. And that's exactly the kind of people that I want to work with. So if you want to get results fast, just go ahead. The link is available already. So I will post it, as I said, also in the chat. And if you're interested, just go ahead, register today. And now let's open up the Q&A session. So if you have any practical questions, if you have any questions according to the content that we have just presented, feel free, go ahead and ask me. And thank you very much for listening. So guys, how can we lower your cost? or increase your sales? Are there any questions that you have? Let's open up the Q&A session. Okay, we're seeing already some people typing here. So let's see what's the first question. Okay, thank you very much, Pooch. So the question is how to set up a retargeting funnel. Well, a retargeting funnel you can set up in different ways, of course, depending on the volume of traffic that you have on your website. For example, if you get over 1,000 clicks every day on your website, and then I would really separate it into the different elements, into the different levels of the funnel that you have already been through. For example, you could separate into people who have engaged with your ad, or you can separate into traffic that have come into the specific, for example, add to cart or initiate checkout, or even people who have added to the shopping cart in the last 24 hours. And you can retarget these people differently than others, or you can also take people who have spent more than 25%. So the top 25% of the people that come to your website, or the bottom 75%. That is a way you can separate your retargeting funnel. You could also go into the different levels of engagement. So people that have viewed a specific amount of time of your video, so on and so forth. What about the others? What about Lucas? Are you still here? What are your most burning questions for Thalia? Is there any specific topic when it comes to Thalia that you would like to cover? If there are no further questions, I would like to say thanks to all of you who just participated in our wonderful webinar, and I wish you a wonderful day. And I'm looking forward to seeing the next one. Lucas. Okay. I almost work with LinkedIn ads and carousel ads. Okay. If you don't have nice video material, I would actually like to recommend you. I would actually like to recommend you a nice tool. If you want to, I can send you an email later on with a couple of tools on how to create very nice video material. If not, you can also just create slideshows. But I'm very much looking forward to send you an email with a couple of nice tools that will definitely help you to create video material. So yes, I see them right now. Alles gut, Lucas. I see them. The emotion story as well. Okay. Do you already work with re-impacting these kind of people, Lucas? So you remember what I've shown you here? Like this one. So to re-impacting these people, for example, who have watched 75% of your video, have you already tried that, Lucas, or not so far? I think the most efficient way to really get the most out of you, Lucas, and to be also keen on your time is if I would send you an email right now with all the exact formats, and we're gonna do it we're gonna continue over there because here's a little lag in the live streaming. So I'm gonna send you an email now, and let's find a good time so we can also have a conversation in a more efficient way. Lucas, thank you very much, and thank you very much for all the others who participated in our webinar. Looking forward to see you in the next one, and have a great day. Goodbye.